Hey guys, welcome back to AZ Triumphster. Today we're going to be installing a set of Harry's Customs Fat Bob or Lowrider S fork shims. That's what they look like. Tapered, 3D printed pieces that drop into the space created down here when you bring the fork body down, or I guess in the offset being bringing the front end up, the triples up, reducing this here, bringing the seam of your fork cap down level flush with your top triple. There's then an opening of space down here in the lower triple. Now, make no mistake, this product from Harry's Customs, which is a really neat product, it's 25 bucks, super cheap. They seem to have a bunch of other 3D printed parts that are cool and useful, but the description might have you believe that it's a necessary piece in order to do this particular thing that would effectively raise the front of your bike about a ½ inch, and it's not a mechanical piece at all. It's really aesthetic. There would be a small gap here. Your triple will still clamp around the fork tube regardless if you have this kit or not. But from an appearance standpoint, it fills up that gap nicely, and if you're someone that rides in all kinds of different weather, or you wash your bike frequently, you probably get an accumulation of water in that particular spot. This probably helps mitigate that as well. So I don't know if you can see behind me, but the weather is pretty crummy today. So this is probably going to be a two-part video where we do the install of the hard parts today, and a follow-up video of part 2 where we go out and ride the motorcycle, and that'll focus more on the effect of lifting the front of the bike a ½ inch. As you know, I'm riding here with a 1-inch lift in the rear as well. Now, the person that ordered these Harry's Customs fork shims, Micah Dean of Dean Speed Customs, has a 21 Lowrider S. He already installed them on his bike. He's not able to ride either because same area, weather's cruddy. He's got an Olin's rear shock, and so when we do the follow-up video, we'll be able to do feedback from 2 people at least, as far as what that effect is of lifting the front of your bike. So to get started, if you have a Fat Bob, you're going to want to take off this front cover. You will need a 3/16 Allen key or T handle. So let's go ahead and pull that, get it out of the way. Now, if you've never taken this off before, it's quite simple. It's just the 2 bolts, and then these tabs here have rubber pieces over them. They slide up under the top triple, as you can see. So there you go. That's off. So from here, I highly recommend, well, don't try to do this without lifting the motorcycle on a proper motorcycle jack. I have one under the front, near the front, under the motorcycle, under both frame rails, elevating the front. And basically I've lifted it to the point to where the tire's barely touching the ground. I think what I'll do is I'll actually bring it up just slightly more. Now from here, I'm going to use an impact just because it's easier. You don't necessarily need an impact, but it's a T45 for these guys. Do one side at a time. Trust me, you don't have to do both sides, because you can physically, once you have these pinch bolts loose, you can physically turn this fork body and force it down to the point that you need, and then tighten the bolts back up and do the other side. It's very, very simple. Okay. I think what I'll do is get this ready to go back in. Okay, so basically what I did is I made a slight adjustment. So there's a decent amount of tension there, so I elevated the front of the bike just slightly more, so this would allow me to just get the most out of the force I was using to compress the fork tube. And then I used the impact, just kind of toggling tight and loose to work it further and further down. And I have it seamed up really nice here, so let me show you what that looks like. So as you can see, this is right in line. Look at that. Oh, perfect. I don't even know if I'm going to be able to do that good with the other side. But you can see, I mean, I don't know why it's such a big deal, but I guess that gap kind of bothers some folks. So, but apparently these are just going to drop right in there. Maybe. Doesn't seem to be quite a big deal on this bike, but we'll see. Well, they don't seem to fit. I can't quite explain it. It's Friday evening, so no, actually it was less than 24 hours. It was yesterday evening at Dean Speed with Micah. These things dropped right in on his Lowrider S when we slid the fork tubes down. And from what I understand, it's the same fork bodies and internals and everything. Triples are different, but also Harry's Customs has it listed for a fat bob and a Lowrider S, although it does say 2018. I think it says 2018 and up. I got nothing. Up there, let me show you. Okay. Oh, and by the way, once you do this side, or this side, whichever one, if you do one side first, and then lift the motorcycle just slightly more, when you loosen the other pinch bolts, the other fork tube almost drops exactly where you need it to, so much easier on the other side. But yeah, so as you can see, you have like a thin edge and a thicker edge, tapered, right? It's kind of nice too that it's got this textured sort of finish on it, but I'm not kidding. This does not want... There's just no way. And, you know, that's, I'm not going to slide the fork tube down anymore. So, yeah. And the aesthetic aspect, two things, if you got a fat bob, something to consider. And maybe you have this same situation I do here. There's certainly not a ton of space here that's, you know, going to bug too many people. The other thing is you have your cover. So if there is a gap, you're only really going to see it from this point to the rear. So you as the rider might see it more than other folks. So I don't know. I don't know what to tell you guys. This is certainly a weird turn of events. So yeah. Let's just leave this open to comments. Maybe I missed something. Please, if I did, tell me. Yeah. All this setup feels like a waste of time. I feel like I have to find something else to do now. But yeah, we'll still do the other. I guess it wouldn't then be a part 2, but really just a part 1 on the the effect that you get from sliding the fork tubes down, effectively elevating the front of the motorcycle a ½ inch. So we'll do that when the weather clears up. But yeah, it's fun talking to you guys. It's about as much as we did today. And thanks for hanging out, and stay safe out there.